It was one of the strangest trials in Dutch history. The defendant in this 1947 case was an art forger who had counterfeited millions of dollars worth of paintings. But he wasn't arguing his innocence. In fact, his life depended on proving that he had committed the fraud. Like many art forgers, Han van Meegeren was an artist whose original works had failed to bring him renown. Embittered towards the art world, Van Meegeren set out to make fools of his detractors. He learned all he could about the old masters, their biographies, their techniques, and their materials. The artist he chose for his deception was 17th century Baroque painter Johannes Vermeer. An ambitious decision given Vermeer was famed for his carefully executed and technically brilliant domestic scenes. Working for in secret for 6 years, the forger perfected his art, copying numerous works as practice. He mixed his own paints after researching the materials and pigments available in Vermeer times. He bought 17th century canvases, created his own brushes, and aged the works by applying synthetic resin and baking them to dry and crack the paint. A forensic test could have detected the synthetic resin, but at the time, such tests were neither advanced or not widespread, and even today, verification of a painting's authenticity relies on the assessment of art specialists. So it's a matter of their subjective judgment as well as their reputation. And this is where Van Meegeren truly outwitted the art world. From his research, he knew historians believed Vermeer had an early period of religious painting influenced by the Italian painter Caravaggio, the leading authority on Vermeer. Abraham Bredius was a huge proponent of this theory. Though none of these works had surfaced, so Van Meegeren decided to make one. He called it the Supper at Emmaus. Britius declared Van Meegeren's fate the masterpiece of Vermeer's art. Van Meegeren's forgery was not totally up to Vermeer's technical standards. But these inconsistencies could be made to fit the narrative. This was an early work produced before the artist had come into his own. With the stamp of approval from the art world, the fake was sold in 1937 for the equivalent of over $4 million in today's money. The success prompted Van Meegeren to forge and sell more works through various art dealers. As unbelievable as it may sound, the art world continued to believe in their authenticity. When the Nazis occupied Holland during the Second World War, Hermann Göring, one of Hitler's top generals, sought to add a Vermeer to his collection of artworks looted from all over Europe. Van Meegeren obliged, selling him an old-age, old-age early Vermeer painting titled Christ with the Adulteress. As the tide of the world turned, so did Van Meegeren's luck. Following the Allied victory, He was arrested for delivering a priceless piece of Dutch heritage to the Nazis, an act of treasonous collaboration punishable by death. To prove the painting wasn't a national treasure, he explained step by step how he had forged it, but he faced an unexpected obstacle. The very expert who had enabled his scam moved to protect his reputation. Brothers defended the painting's authenticity. With few options left, Van Meegeren set to work on a new Vermeer. When he presented the fact to the court, they finally believed him. He was acquitted for collaborating with the Nazis and sentenced to a year imprisonment for fraud. Through there's evidence that Van Meegeren did, in fact, collaborate with the Nazis. He managed to convince the public that he had tricked Goering on purpose, transforming his image into that of a folk hero who had swindled the Nazis. Thanks to this newfound notoriety, his works became valuable in their own right, so much so that they were later forged in turn by his own son. The same canvases went from revered classic to despised forgeries to works of art respected for the skill and notoriety of the forger.